we go.
Hello everyone, this is John with Money on the Floor Currency Trader, and today I wanted to go over scalping. Now some people say scalping is what people do when maybe they don't know how to trade, they don't know how to swing trade, they don't know what's in the market, they're just trying to get little pieces of trades out of the market, money. They're trying to make money, a couple dollars here, a couple dollars there. But what I can tell you that scalping is an art. Scalping is a definite art and is definitely a way to make a great living too. So don't think you just have to swing trade to make money. Don't think you just have to day trade. Now, I do believe if you're a scalper, you probably will swing trade and actually day trade while you see a good trade setup, because usually what I do is I get into a trade and it becomes a scalp and I'll move up again, it'll pull back, I'll see it still moving up, and that becomes a day trade. Then I'm in that trade all day long. Now sometimes I see that trade still going and I might move my trade to break even or lock in some profit and become a swing trade. Remember, swing trade is something more than one day, so I could be in there 1, 2, 3 days. You never know. So there's nothing wrong with scalping. There's nothing wrong with day trading. There's nothing wrong with swing trading. It's what the market gives us. Now, one thing I can tell you is usually I'm trading small accounts, or I'm trading a prop firm where I'm only allowed to lose a small amount. Now there becomes very important to be able to keep your losses in check. Now how do you keep your losses in check? For me, it's scalping. Because if I come in here and I grab a piece of a pie right here and I grab out a chunk, I keep that money, I have very little loss, I put my stop here. Let's take a look at that. Let's see here. Put my loss right here. I jump into the trade right here and up we go. We have a flag pattern, takes off, pulls up. We have a little bit of indecision. I'm thinking maybe we're going to turn around here, but then it pulled back up. And then we get a nice engulfing candle. The top tells me to get out. Now, that's usually how I would trade. But there's a lot of things you actually have to know to trade. Scalping is an art. And to know your art, you need to know everything about what's going on here on the page. And if you don't, then you're actually at a disadvantage. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me clean up this mess here real quick. I just made a mess on my chart. It's all gone. Now, first thing you got to know is you got to know structure. So we're going to come in here. We're going to look at this trade. And let's say we came in here, we only have this in here, it doesn't matter. We come in here and we say we have structure. We have an area where the market is bouncing off of. So we know that when the market's pushing down usually where it's pushing down is, it's trying to get us to sell. And the market's always trying to get us to do something it doesn't want to do. So it probably wants to buy. And that's usually what happened. You can see right here, it's pretty obvious that's what happened. So now we like to come in here and put trend lines in. So let me put some trend lines in. And I'll say, okay, we're coming through here. We're looking for a break above this right here, and we're going to explode. And we see right here we have an engulfing candle, very obvious. But first we had a wick down, and then we had an explosive move up. We had an engulfing candle start to go above our area. I would probably take a chance and buy right there. Put my stop back here. We moved up. We actually went into a flag pattern. Now we can also see that we have trend lines coming up through here. I'd be watching that like a hawk, and also using past structure. I'd be able to see with this area. Probably already know this area right here beforehand, because if we zoom out, you'll see that that's probably an area of a particular area we're trying to get to, because look, it pulled up here, pulled up again, tried to break, made a double top. We're not even sure if it's going to break. Right now we have a trend line here. We have a shelf area waiting for that to break. If it breaks, it could come all the way down. And the reason why is we have structure. Now when you have structure, structure does many things. So let's go over structure real quick. Structure is an area where the market went away from, and then structure is an area where the market pulls back to and then goes away from. And one thing the market will do is the market will come back to this structure and then break through and then retest and then continue down to the next structure. So the market will right here drop back down. It'll break through this structure right here, retest it, move down, and then continue on down to this structure. And usually if you go back in time, market will go up and back down to structure. Market will go up, like right here, it went up to here, came back down to this structure right here. The market went up, and it's going to come back down this structure. Didn't make it this time because it's trending, but when this trend line breaks, it's coming to this structure. And after that trend line breaks, it's coming to this structure. So it's going to go from structure to structure, but it always leaves from structure to structure. Now, it's the same thing with the 50 moving average, and we'll show you later on in the charts here that the 50 moving average, we like to trade away from the 50 to the 50, because I call that the money line. So that's our even keel line. So that's the money line. We trade away from it and to it. So we'll get into that. So right now it's necessary that you understand structure. It's necessary you understand price action. You need to really understand how to use trend lines properly. And also being able to use trend lines properly will tell you probably where the market's coming down to. So we have an area right here. If you draw a trend line, that's probably where the market's coming down to. Also, its structure. So you have two things saying that we're probably going to come right down to here. So you need to know all this stuff to be scalping. So that's why scalping is an art. It's not some place where you come in here and buy and sell and you think you're going to make quick money and get out of the market. Now you can. I do all the time. But you need to be very in-depthly trained to be able to use all these things, whether it's structure, trend lines, price action, and practice them. So let's look at the chart now. Let me take this up and clean it up. So you can see we have a lot of stuff here. Now let's take another chart that I use, which I have a template on. Let me get rid of my pen here real quick. If I go over here to this other gold trade, now this is the template I use. It's the same thing. Now what I have here is I have structure here. I have structure here. We haven't quite made structure up here. Now we do have the 50 moving average on it, because remember that's very important. Anything above the 50 you're buying, anything below you're selling. And you can see nothing is below, you're all buying here. And we have these arrows. These are what I call A+ arrows. So what's going to happen is we're going to get an explosive move up. We're going to go above the yellow line, which is our moving average, which is very similar to the 20 moving average and possibly the 9 moving average at the same time. But we're above that, that becomes okay to buy. You would buy up, you would get a reversal dot. And that would say that the RSIs have crossed, and now we will exit the trade. Now you also get a reversal arrow, which would tell you to get out of the trade too. So for scalping, see how very easy that is. Now one thing we do have is we have a higher time frame. So this right here is a 4-hour chart down here at the bottom. This is our triangular MACD for the time frame that we're on. And between the two, when they're both the same color, that is the best time to trade. Now we know they're both green. We have an arrow which shows up in our window down here with our RSIs. It's a little bit scrunched up, but we can see we have the arrow here, same arrow. We also have a reversal dot which says we have momentum to the upside. We have green candles, which is trending. Basically, you can get out when you get a red candle. You can get out when you get the reversal dot. You can get out when you get the reversal arrow. Or you can get out just because you crossed the yellow line again if you missed it. And that is basically a scalp. And this is why I call it the art of scalping. Because with all the knowledge that you have and with your template and your weapons, you're able to come in here and take money out at will. Now, you might take this trade right here, and it went up, you got the dot, and you made some money, and you came back down. And then you had another dot, and went up, you tried to take this one right away, you're having to close the trade, maybe break even. That's when you stop and say, okay, something's wrong here, and you'll see that you're actually going sideways, excuse me. And so once you see that, you're going to stop for a minute, and you're going to say, okay, I can see we're going sideways. We're going to wait till this breaks out right there. Now it's a little bit high. Let me see. Let me just make that a little bit smaller here. Sorry. Keep it right in here. So we're waiting for a breakout. As we go, nothing here broke out. Nothing broke out. Everything's trying. Right here you have an arrow, double green. Never broke out, so we're not taking that trade. We have an arrow here. Here's an arrow, double green. And we look here, it's pushed up. And right here it broke out. Now we also have that engulfing candle. So right in here we would take a buy trade right there. Put our stop down here below. And as we move up into target, we can see we have a flag pattern. Once we broke that right there, we can go ahead and put our stop at break even and let this run. And what happens? You get a reversal dot and you get a red candle. So all the candles were green. So these are trending candles. And I like trending candles. They keep me in the trade longer. And we have a reversal dot, which is the RSI's crossing. We can see here that we need to get out. Plus we have the red candle. Nothing else told us that. We did get the RSI's crossing both red at the time. Is another reason to get out of the trade. So, and you would get out of the trade and it would pull back down. But remember, we're only taking buys here because this is green. This is green, so we do not sell this. And we come down here, we get another arrow. Now everything is green. Both RSI's are green. We can buy that. We moved up. We had a red candle, and we got out there at that time. Now, it wasn't a very big trade, but we got that. And you can see it's a triangle. And now you can see you're popping out again. And you're probably going to come back down to the 50 because we trade consolidation, A+ trade up, and we trade it back to the 50. Now, whether you want to trade the reversal or not, where it does come back to the 50 after that, it usually makes another consolidation or triangle and breaks out with A+ trade again. Or it could actually break up again. It just depends where it wants to go. Like this one here was above, coming sideways, broke up. This one was above, broke up. But a lot of times we break them to the downside. So either way, but that's how we trade it. And that's why I call it the art of scalping, because I can come in here with a small prop firm or a prop firm where I can only lose a small amount of money, which most of them they really, so you need to be able to know when to get out quickly, and this is what this template does, and that's why I use it for that, and that's why I scalp, because I need to make maybe $100, maybe $200, and then come over here and make another $500 to $800 to be able to pad my prop firm every day. Now, I believe you need to be more aggressive when you're trying to get the prop firm, and I've passed many, but once you get the prop firm, you actually want to trade to an amount that you want to make per day. So whether it's $50, $500, and you're done trading for that day, because the market will always try to get the money back from you. But using a template that goes along with scalping, and using a template that goes along with day trading, this actually goes along with swing trading, because I can put this onto a day chart and it's the same exact trade. Everything is fractal, so you can trade the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 15, the day. It really doesn't matter. It just matters that you're able to make money by knowing you get in the market right here, and that you know when to get out of the market. That's probably the art of scalping. So you know that you have a good trade right to here. You know you have a good trade right to here. You know you have a good trade right to here, right to there. You know you have that because this is what you train to do, and you can become an artist at it because you're able to take money out of the market at will. And it is an awesome feeling. And one thing, if you would like to experience that, you can come over to my trade room, and this is where I trade like this in front of you live. I tell you where I get into the market, I tell you where I put my stop, where I put my take profit, and I help you to get into the trade. We all basically take the same trade together. I'm either trading gold, or we have a lot of people that only trade FX pairs, so I look for those, whether it's a dollar crosses, or if we have CAD news coming out, or any kind of news coming out, then we'll trade whatever pair is strong or weak. We do have this on the chart here, so we can see that the odd is weak, and you have the pound strong. So the pound odd would be a good pair to look at. Now, it might have already moved, we don't know, but we would check into that. So that's what we do. We have an EA on the chart where we take the trade, and we can go to break even. We can reverse the trade. We can have a trailing stop. We can have multiple positions and close all positions at one time. So it's pretty awesome. So if you want to join a trade room where everybody's scalping, everybody's making money, everybody's trading the same way, and we're doing the same trade every day. So we're always in here trying to make money in the markets, and that's the goal. We're all professional traders. Now, the ones that are learning are not quite there yet, but they're trying to learn from us so that they can emulate us, and they can get their skills to a higher level so that they can get the art of scalping down. All right, everybody, thank you so much for your time. So if you'd like to learn more about the scalping, please look me up. All right, have a great day. Bye-bye.